And now, the world's favorite E-grade team, the Beeaans.
Can I get up, bit of beans?
Welcome to the hottest E-grade podcast you've
Beans.
ever goddamn seen. The Beeaans.
I don't know if I'm...
baby.
Hang on, sorry, before we keep going, I don't know if I've got any audio spikes.
You do. You've
I
got
do?
audio spikes. You're
Okay.
recording fine. We're fine.
My bad. Sorry to fuck that up.
So you got massive audio spikes on my screen.
Yeah, you are like literally. Oh, I don't know if I've got any. Let me just.
Mine was flat, okay? Mine's flat, so I didn't want to start the podcast and get like 45 minutes in again. And then someone was like, oh, my mic's not working.
Imagine sitting here before we start recording and saying, "Yep, I'll let Lockie do the intro," and then midway through him doing the intro, you're just like, "I'm getting interrupted."
Well, for
Lockie,
all
keep
those on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, we've finally got video is back, baby. You can see our faces, suss us out on YouTube, I think it's on, or we'll have highlights on Instagram, all that sort
TikTok.
of shit. TikTok? We're on
TikTok?
TikTok? Damn.
Well, not yet, but
we'll get
There's a
there.
page. So I made it, didn't we?
yeah,
So,
I made the account.
We've got a few things going on tonight. Obviously, you know, the NBA's back in full swing. We're going to talk about a couple of the games. We've got Bussin' or Fussin'. We've got my new segment, What Ifs. And we've got Mitch's Maltese. But first, we've got to talk about something. The big man, the grandpa of the beans, Bradley Scanlon is back.
He's back, baby.
Hello.
Better than ever.
The IQ has doubled this episode. I love it.
0, bud.
And
Still
Connor's
0.
now the fifth smartest on the pod.
Yeah, that's rough.
Damn.
How you been, Brad?
I've been good.
Yeah,
I'm
haven't
isolating.
spoken to you in a long time, so.
No, I'm isolating, so I've had lots of time to think about this week's podcast, and I have time. I'm not allowed to work my usual schedule, so ready for some hot takes.
True.
Just
Fun
before we
stuff.
get into it, how did you escape from the old folks' home? How'd you get out?
They don't even have security here. So, yeah.
Why did it take you so long to get out then?
She's old.
I only realised. Yeah, put my glasses on.
Brad's just outed us as liars because I think like a few episodes ago we were like, yeah, to get in there you got to like go through laser beams and there's like security guards and now he's just like, no, there's nothing. So
I think that's because we didn't know, because he was our source of information. He said, nah, there's all these lasers and shit.
that's
Turns
true.
out it was just like the shuffleboard and stuff.
I was
Yeah.
just sleeping during a movie, a spy movie.
Nice.
No type of guy.
Well,
Let's get into some games, ladies and gentlemen.
hey, Lockie.
Yeah.
You're forgetting something.
Hey guys, it's
There we
Lockie.
go. There he is.
Have you ever wanted a sweet jersey like this one? Well, not this one because this isn't from Clutch Closet.
Not this
But
one.
Clutch Closet, you can get all these awesome jerseys. You can hit the free throw on the next deal you want. 5% off with the code NBeanA at your checkout. Hit the DeMar DeRozan spinning fade away, baby, on your next purchase with Clutch Closet. It's Clutch
my
to shop.
God.
It's Clutch to shop with Clutch Closet, guys. I'm just
It
saying.
is Clutch to shop
I'm a
with Clutch
shill.
Closet.
I'm a shill now. For 5% off, I'm a shill.
We're a sellout, so it's fine. All right, games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Lockie? You introed it. Why don't you kick it off? What do you
Sure.
What do you want to talk about?
It's just
from-
Lockie talking this podcast.
Yeah, just Lockie. Everything's just. You know what? Yeah, let Lockie talk about it.
Well, I mean, even though we haven't been versing some like crazy teams yet, Bulls are 3-0 for the first time since forever.
Unreal.
It's big.
First time above 0.500, which is insane. And DeMar, Vooch, Zach, Lonzo, Caruso, they're all playing like they've known each other for years. They've already got the chemistry on the court, which is amazing. They're playing like they love each other, dude. And then our depth, I'm going to talk about Alize Johnson, who he's been a crazy rebounder for us. He comes onto the court, just gets boards, and he's like, yeah, I want to be like Dennis Rodman. And it's like, cool. You go and do that, bro. Go get those boards.
I think that's the biggest thing from what I've watched of Bulls so far is comparing, say, to the Lakers, which is actually what I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Comparing the team chemistry of their team, which is also a that's one of the other ones that's been changed a lot. Comparing that sort of chemistry to the Bulls, the Bulls, like, their role players are like really fucking settling into their roles really well. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, Caruso's still a fucking defensive beast. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's
Caruso.
Caruso might be the best Bull of all time.
I'm just saying, guys.
passing the torch.
know.
I literally don't know any other better than him. But yeah, I just think like their chemistry
Denzel
looks
Valentine?
fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Denzel, can't
It's
forget.
been like a massive, quite a long time since May. I guess the only comparative team recently would probably be the LaMelo Hornets. Would be like they just look like they're having fun. Like
Yeah.
it looks like the whole
Yeah.
team's just like really enjoying themselves.
Mm.
And it's like, everyone talks about, Caruso's great on defense. Like he hustles after every single possession, but Lonzo's defense has been incredible so far, man. He's getting blocks, he's getting steals, he's everywhere. Like him and Caruso are a very deadly combo on the defensive end so far. It's
4
insane.
blocks.
Yeah,
4 blocks,
From-
3 steals.
from Lonzo Ball.
Shit.
Expected though. It'll be a long guard who can do it all, and if he's quiet on offense, he can make up with it through help. Especially, he's one of the best help defenders in the NBA that doesn't get talked about enough. I think one of the big highlight block against Stewart. That was a long way from help. He was supposed to be guarding that corner, and he got all the way to the ring within
Met him at the rim.
like half a second. Like it was crazy as. The only thing that worries me about the Bulls is Lucky. Every one of those key players that you've mentioned played 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Of their best 6 players. If one of them goes down, that's 30 minutes you've got to allocate without giving too many more to the starter. So that's the only worry for now. But
It's a struggle because there's
young after that 6.
Yeah, exactly. And like a couple of the guys on our starters are pretty prone to injuries, I'll say. But so it is a bit worrying, like especially in the later in the season, it'll be a bit of a worry. But for now, I'm on the hype train. I'm going all in on the hype. So as of this recording, Bulls have a pretty tough stretch of games over the next month. So this is where we kind of see if the hype's real, like if they can match up against these tough teams.
I reckon you've got Toronto tomorrow. I reckon that's it. Unless Scotty Barnes does Scotty Barnes things.
Yeah, exactly.
In saying that though, like what you were saying about the 30 minutes there, Brett, like Kobe White hasn't played a game yet. Like, and he'll just help even that out. Ayo, Disumnia, whatever his name, the rookie. Ayo, everybody say well. He'll probably just get more and more minutes, like as they sort of, as Chinnick was saying, just learn that roles, all those role players, like that as that trust forms. But the Bulls are back, baby. It's awesome.
Bulls are back.
Fucking unreal.
Before I pass it off, you go.
So they first, it was Detroit.
Yep.
And then who was the other one?
Pelicans.
So
Yeah.
Quality
just to
opposition
play,
there.
I was going to say, just to play the devil's advocate, is it? Are they playing well against bad opposition?
Yeah,
Or
that's what I'm
can it
saying. But
translate?
like even it's bad opposition. But at saying that, last year, if it was because last game versus Detroit, Zach had a not woeful, but he had an off shooting night. So he was passing it off to everyone else, and that's what kind of got us the win. Last year, if that was the case, we were losing that. You can't have Zach have an off shooting night and the Bulls win. So
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Like the one thing that I think Zach LaVine needs throughout all of his games is the thing that Kobe Bryant did just to help his teammates out is to, no matter what your possession is, hit that post first. So like Kobe Bryant always made to have it hit, especially when Pau Gasol come, hit the post first and then do what you need, and let all your boys get involved. And I think he started to do that. He's given up lots of the ball duties to Lonzo Ball, which I think was an absolute necessity as well. Hopefully he just doesn't get that scorer's mentality and want to touch the ball more and more and more and more and more.
They keep winning though.
He wants to touch the ball, Zach.
If he keeps winning, I feel like We're quite happy to share that up.
And yeah, Zach's been very happy with the play so far. So I'm glad he's sharing more of the ball.
Is he the man on the team?
What's that?
Is he the man? Is he like he's going to take you to the promised land?
I mean, look, maybe a couple of years ago it wasn't the case, but now that he's actually got some depth around him, I mean, he's putting up incredible numbers already. So I'm happy with his play at the moment. I'm happy when he's having an off shooting night and he's able to pass it off and play a little more defense, which he's getting better at. And like you were saying, Brad, if he's going to play more in the post, who better to learn from than DeMar DeRozan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy for DeMar.
Me too, dude.
Could have gone to Lakers.
He could
have just sat on that bench.
I feel like he's a player that like I love to love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially
He's a
since
good
the
bloke.
Toronto thing. Oh, that kills me.
Stitch up.
Well, I'll pass it off. How about you, Mitch? How what have you been watching?
My man Chris Duarte. He's just been unreal. Like he's just got that IQ already. Like he knows his shots and his touch and his feel for the game of like the NBA basketball tempo is just so honed already, and I just love watching him, and I'm so like happy for him. I think he put up 27 one game, and then he put up 19 against the Heat. Connor, how was that for you? Heat stinky, Chris Duarte elite. But yeah, I've been working so much, I've barely got a chance to watch any of it. I guess I'll talk about Boston because these are the games that I've watched the most. I was so up and about that fucking Knicks game. My goodness, that was just like we finally looked like a competent team, like on defense, and it was just so exciting. And then we decided to go under the screen 4 times for Evan Fournier, and I hate to say it, but Jason Tatum just needs to learn if he's, like you were saying, like with Zach LaVine, like if you're having an off night and your teammate's scoring 40, you don't need to take the last shot.
That's so frustrating.
Did that in the Eastern Conference Finals, but a couple of years ago as well. Tatum, Jaylen Brown was shooting good that game, but Tatum kept taking those shots, and I think he ended up missing 2 shots in the last. Like 1 shot in the last, like that would have won the game in regulation, and missed a shot in OT as well.
Yeah,
that would have tied it up again.
Like I think he shot 3 for 15 from 3 for the whole game, and I think he shot like minimal. It was like 20% or something, like something real low, and he was just throwing up these like it came down to crunch time. These games to try and like these shots that were to win the game, or at least tie it, and he's doing like his ISO that he would normally hit, but like. When you're shooting that poorly and you've got a teammate who's just lights out, you can't ice him out like that. Like, and then it was just fortunate that Jaylen Brown decided to turn into Steph Curry and hit it from deep. Like, still one of the best shots I've seen. Like the way he gathered and everything, just from so far, was just incredible. But then coming up against Toronto, we were just a completely different team. I don't know what happened there. I don't really want to talk about that one as much.
Scotty Barnes happened.
The Scotty Barnes effect.
Yeah. Scotty Barnes really happened.
But it's just good to see Boston actually having like a team. I think we'll find our groove and end up getting it going. Like it's good to see as well. Like Al Horford actually playing a bit of the 4. Like I feel like Al Horford, his whole career should have been a 4, but he's been playing center for so long. And now with Robert Williams playing the 5, I feel like we've actually got a pretty decent lineup with Smart, Brown, Tatum, Horford, and Time Lord. Like I've been saying it since we've been doing the pod. I feel like we should have Brown at the 2 and Tatum at the 3, or as Connor wants,
and Smart starting.
I want Brown at the
Smart
1.
starting at the 1.
I mean, I might go with Smart starting at the 2 if Brown was the 1. Like I think Brown Smart backcourt is ideal.
Well, I think that's why we were so good against the Knicks. Was like it was the starting 5 was Smart then Brown, but it was just like we were playing through Brown. Once he got going, we were playing through him, and he knows how to share the ball. Whereas I hate to talk anything poor about Tatum, but for him to get to that MVP upper echelon level, he needs to learn to facilitate a bit better, I think, or at least just at a bare minimum, not throw up every shot, like that every time he touches the ball. You know what I mean? And like I think Brad, you could probably talk to this point more than I could. Like I feel like that's when we sort of started to see the better sides of Kobe. Was when it sort of changed from that rookie sensation of pinging shots to,
A lot of it is, and a lot of the what do you call it? The brain just doesn't catch up. Like his IQ isn't as good as his skill level, if that makes sense. He's got so much to learn as far when the right shot is, when to give it up. You don't need to shoot 5 shots every quarter. You can settle for 2. You can settle for 1 even, and just get your team involved. Because the simple fact is, the better Jalen shoots, the better Marcus Smart shoots, the better that everyone else is doing, the better options you're going to have down the stretch when it does matter, not putting up contested threes.
And I think, again, that's just like what Jim was saying, like the team chemistry with the new thing. Like, obviously, Hal Horford was here a while ago, but he's back now. He's a bit older and slower. And then like we got 2 new guards who are pretty ball heavy in Dennis Schroeder and Josh Richardson. I think it'll just be he just needs to learn to move and play without the ball in his hands and get his teammates going. And I think that's when we'll see Boston really take that next step.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum, by the way, but he's still got that hero ball mentality. Like if you're comparing him to Zach LaVine still has that, even though he's sharing the ball a bit more. But it's hard to get away from, because you feel like I don't know, you're the one to put up the shots. You feel like your team relies on you a little bit. But like JT's got, I mean, Jaylen Brown's amazing. He's an incredible basketball player.
One of the best second options I can think of in the NBA off the top of my head.
And
absolutely.
And could honestly be one of the best first options. Like, we're just so lucky.
Like, I think he's
20 teams is the first option.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not a bad spot to be in. Like, as a Boston fan, I'm super happy that they can develop and, like, even, like, just in these first few games, like, they're just learning to play. They're still learning to play with each other. Like, and it's lucky that, like, you listen to, like, Bill Simmons and stuff. They talk about the playoff scars. Like, we've actually had a chance to get those playoff scars early. So now that, like, when it comes to crunch time, once we've developed a bit more, like, we can sort of learn from what we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'll hand it over to Chinwag, because I've referred to him a couple of times this conversation. So I guess.
Hello, I'm the Chinwag.
Hello.
So as I mentioned before, for once, I'm not going to talk about the Mavericks as much as I wanted to. We've only played 2 games. I am slightly concerned. I don't want to talk. It's fine. We won 1. We lost 1. It's fine. Not going to talk about it. It sucks. Not going to talk about it. I actually want to talk about the Lakers. It doesn't look great at the moment. I mean, I guess going into it, like, game 1 was already a little bit concerning because it was like they didn't look great.
And Warriors played bad.
Yeah,
Warriors played really
that was
bad.
Pretty clear. Like, it should have been easy, or not easy, but you know,
like the first half. Watching the first half, you sort of always thought like Lakers should be a lot further ahead than they are.
Exactly,
like, they were playing better.
Realistically, that's one of their toughest matchups. Like, you're going against the best point guard in the league, arguably one of the best point guards of all time.
Top 2.
Yeah, like
100%.
Russ isn't an elite defender. And who have they got at the 2? Who started there? Like, because they got Malik Monk coming off the bench. Wayne Ellington might have started.
Avery Bradley started.
Who
I don't think he
was
did.
a good defender, but
come off the bench.
It's just
He played a lot of minutes at the end, but it was
it's like that's just a tough matchup. I mean, it's just a tough matchup for every team, but let alone that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Bazemore. So they started with 2.
Yeah, so not good defensively there. You know what I mean?
100%. I think the biggest thing, apart from, because game 1, the biggest issue that I visibly saw with the Lakers was, stop that hassle. The biggest issue was they look old, and I know that like they are, like that's a given. Everyone knows that, like going into this season, that they are an old team. But like they just look slow. Especially when you are playing against like the Warriors, like they're not a particularly young team, but they do have a lot of young players, and Steph is still super fucking athletic. It's really visible, and that isn't such a worry against, say, like the Nets. It's not as much of a problem. Against like the Suns, who are a reasonably young, like quite a fast team. as we saw in the finals. They play really quick, and I think against a team like that, it looks more concerning.
And the king of pace, Chris Paul, who just knows when to play quick and when not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And then I guess the bigger issue, which sort of bleeds into the fight that happened on the bench. That whole game looked a bit messy in general. But I think the biggest problem is their chemistry. And again, like the age thing was clearly an issue playing against the Suns. But yeah, the chemistry does not look good.
So strange. The chemistry's weird because they've all played together before.
Yeah.
It's the Olympic team. It's the 2012 or 2016 Olympic team.
And that's the thing. Like that should be, in theory, as old, experienced players. That should be one of the easiest things for them to do.
I think when you're maybe your top 2 scoring option, top 3 scoring options, most of them would prefer to be inside and finish inside. Anthony Davis is definitely just capable of stepping, and he was living at that corner 3 for most of these games, and it's just he doesn't look as comfortable there, and he's the cornerstone going forward. They're not really accommodating to him. This is what iced him out in the Pelicans, is when they delegated him to that stretch 4 and nothing else. It's kind of trending towards there, where you've got to make room for LeBron driving in, and then Westbrook driving in, Westbrook putting up a bunch of shots and chasing his own rebound. You've got to accommodate for all these things, and they're just not accommodating to. He's going to be their best player this year, and they're just not. They haven't figured that out yet. I don't think.
100%.
I have a feeling that, like, I'm not worried about the Lakers though. Like, I feel like if there's a group of players that can figure it out, it's probably LeBron and Westbrook. Like, you know what I mean?
100%.
And yeah, exactly. And you look today, like, I mean, Melo's not going to drop 28 every game, but like, LeBron had like a 19, 6 and 6. Westbrook had a high assist game. Like, Anthony Davis put up 22. I think they need to play through, like, just to talk to your point, Brad, like, I think playing through AD at a high post, like at the elbow or something like that, would just be an elite sort of way for them to get him going. But then, like, if it comes to it, just dish it off, and then he goes to the corner. Like, it's starting there. Yeah.
It's where Jokic does a lot of his work is at the elbow.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do.
And it doesn't even, like, for a big man that can shoot like AD and honestly pass pretty well as well, you could even
capable.
Stretch that out to the top, like the high wing, you know what I mean? Like to the 3-point line and play through there. And
let him bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. And like do some sort of handoffs through him, like run around him. And when you've got sort of like, I know Westbrook's old and LeBron are old, but like they've still got the bodies to play the way that they do. I think playing through Westbrook will be tough purely because, as you were saying, Brad, like he's not looking to pick up a 3. Like the pick and roll game will be elite, but you can't do a pick and roll game unless you have people to shoot around it, like successfully. So, like I think, like you were saying, Brad, like they just. But I think they'll figure it out. Like I think I give them.
Oh, they'll
10
work.
games,
Yeah,
15
they'll
games,
figure it out.
I think they'll be back.
I think the thing that worries me, and I think where the general worry is coming, this is a lot how that Lonzo Ball season started. LeBron's first at the Lakers. It's just that frustration. As soon as you see the piss boy LeBron not running up to play defense every game, every possession, he hasn't done that since that year, and he's doing it this year. So it's kind of like, I don't know, very reminiscent of that the Dwight Howard and Kobe Lakers as well. Like it's just
I was gonna say,
they're not going to fix it if the effort's not there. Unfortunately,
I think if there's a bloke that'll get frustrated by that and visibly frustrated by it, it'll be Westbrook. Like, like who's just well known for getting pissed off with teammates who don't want to put in the work. You know what I mean?
100%.
But yeah, how good Melo putting up 28 today?
I mean, yeah, that was
We love Melo.
Melo was so good.
Melo or Bam?
Ninth scoring on the scoring list. Now too, past Moses Malone. He's just killing it. He's just one of the best players I've ever watched.
I was gonna say, I think he's top 2 for me, like favorite players. I think it's Laibird and then him.
Like it.
fair.
Never put on the green. One day.
Hand it over
Wouldn't count it out.
I'll hand it over to Herzl.
That's me, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're looking at the Miami Heat,
Can
baby.
you take it back off, Herzl?
We're looking at the Miami Heat, baby. First game they played, sort of touched the Bucks up a little bit. Don't know if you boys saw the score there.
It's not a full Bucks team, though,
I
Herzl.
know. I know. They didn't have Drew Holiday. We still won by 42.
No, they did look. And I'll put my hand on my heart and say that I didn't think they'd look that good.
All that matters is the Bucks. Really, they lost to the Turk Nowitzki.
I love it.
I love that bloke so much.
That
I'm
I'd rather
yeah,
you like
7.
flex him up than just talk about how good Hero is again. Like,
Maybe that's
Okay.
why you lost to the Pacers, because Yurtseven didn't get any minutes.
Yeah, Yurtseven didn't get any minutes against the Pacers. Should have fucking played him 48 plus whatever the overtimes were. I can't count. So anyway, so touched the Bucks up a little bit. That was nice to see. Lost to the Pacers, but you can't win. No one's ever gone 82-0. So 81-1. Here we come.
81-1.
But
God.
Bam's actually started off the season really strong rebounding. He got 13 and 16, so I think he's currently second in the league in rebounding. To go along with Tyler Hero going at 28.5 a game.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Who is his, just
He's only had 2
curiosity,
games.
who's
He's
his
27
matchups?
30.
Who's,
I mean, Miles Turner.
No,
Who's the
Tyler
playing the
Hero,
hero?
I mean.
no, like his direct matchup.
direct matchups?
Sandro Mamukulevsky.
He would have had TJ McConnell for a lot of that Pacers game.
Yeah, but
It's
the
not
Bucks
2K.
one?
It's not 2. Yeah, good point. It's not 2K. And Duarte as well. Probably match up a fair bit on Duarte. Who
Duarte's elite.
Shot
So maybe Tyler Hero is
28.6%
Chris Duarte.
for that 19 points against Miami.
I lost a rookie.
6 from 21.
He's
Bit
elite.
stinky, but it's okay. He's a rookie. You're allowed to have those games when you're a rookie. But that's enough about the Heat for me. I actually want to talk about Ja Morant,
Nice.
who's going at 35 a game. 28 and I had the numbers up before. I think it was 28 and 8, 35, 6 and 6, and then 40 and 10 today.
That's elite.
it is a lot.
Putting up digits. He's currently tied with Paul George, leading the league in scoring.
What's PG been going at?
35 a game as well. Yeah.
Because no
Number one
Kawhi
option,
to
PG's back.
take it away.
Yeah, have they won any games? I haven't watched many Clippers
Paul
games.
George, if he wants to win with Clippers this year, he needs
0 and
to
2.
go back to the shaved head.
Yeah, good call. But yeah, I'm loving Ja Morant, who they actually beat the Clippers a couple of days ago, where Paul George had 41 and 10, shooting 60%. But yeah, Ja Morant doing some things, and I'm gonna say it again. I think he can possibly be as good as Derrick Rose. Possibly, maybe.
Brad's just
Maybe.
For everyone listening, Brad just
Maybe.
disconnected his camera.
gave us a wave. He's
Wave.
gone.
He's gone.
No, so there is a very high mountain to climb, being like what prime D Rose could have been. But if Ja Morant can be what baby D Rose was, that he's very
All
similar.
right, I'll stop you there really
Brad's
quickly.
about to. I'm
He,
gonna finish.
he
Herzl.
won. He won an MVP with the second, third, and fourth people behind him were Dwight Howard, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant.
Well, if
Won't
he-
even
Ja
be
Morant's
there.
not going to be in the top 10 players.
Oh no, not yet, not yet.
He's not
Not
going to be in the
yet.
top 15.
Ever at any point in the NBA, in his
Oh, yeah.
NBA career, he's not going to make any All NBA teams. You reckon?
Oh no, I reckon he'll make a few.
Yeah,
But
he'll,
Maybe not first teams.
not first. I reckon he'll be stuck on the third.
I think he's good enough to push for first and second teams. Like,
Tyler Hero or Ja Morant?
Oh.
well, they're two different players, but Ja.
That's why I said
well-
or.
Yeah.
Ja or. That's the key word, or.
Yeah, but it's
So,
completely different play styles. You're not
so
going to say,
do you guys
oh,
like
who do you want to
Mitch?
start at the 5?
But-
Do you want
but-
DeAndre Ayton or do you want
Okay,
Ja
but do
Morant
you guys
to
like
be your
Mitch or
starting
Brad?
but
centre?
Hard
they
to
will
pick,
be
they're different
fighting
people.
for positions in the All NBA team guards in the future. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I'll probably say Ja would because Tyler's not going to be...
Oh, Tyler Hero's not going to be All NBA.
It could be, but he's more of a... At the moment, he's looking like he can be a perennial
Perennial six-man, yeah.
six-man kind of guy.
What about Jordan Poole?
Here we go.
I think he's the same as... I think he's the same as Hero, to be honest. Like, they're going to be like perennial six-man kind of guys.
But anyway,
Like-
fussing.
Shut up. Okay, yeah, I'm just excited for Ja Morant because he's got knees at the moment. I
Same,
think I have to appreciate while he's got his knees.
Yeah, no, I
because-
agree. Every time he jumps, I'm scared.
yeah.
It's just like a nervousness.
The sustainability of this type of player just hasn't been kind at all. It's the difference between having like a 16-year career to having like a 10-year of actual real basketball, and a lot of that
Derrick
being
Rose, your
recovery.
John
Like,
Wall.
it's not sustainable, and his 3-point shot is improved. Like,
Improving.
you can't say it's not improved, but is it? If he hurts himself, is it reliable enough to lean on?
I will say though,
I don't know.
just in like the first few games, he's looking a lot more skilled in the sense that like he's not just pinging in and trying to jump over dudes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
his footwork's massively improved, and he's using his athleticism in terms of in more like crafty ways. Like he's quick, like he's got probably one of the quickest first steps in the league at the moment, and like he's really using that as a skill more than just to get around dudes and yam it on their head.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, did you see? Speaking of Ja Morant, did you see that Steven Adams jump ball play? So they had a
Not.
jump ball in the Memphis's defensive end, and it was Steven Adams in the jump against. I don't even know who because I didn't pay that much attention because it was that cool. Steven Adams just pings it down the court. Ja Morant just like fangs it down the court, like length of the court. Jump ball hits it, and Ja Morant just dunks. It was sick.
Oh,
It was very, very cool.
I'm just
It's
gonna watch
definitely,
this on
like,
YouTube.
one of the most explosive players in the league, and it's insane how crazy quick he can get just like standing still. He can just fly.
I think we just have to hope he doesn't get hurt because I mean, like
Yeah.
he hasn't really shown any signs of going to be getting hurt a
Oh,
lot.
touch wood. Touch wood.
You don't,
Oh,
you don't
God.
show signs. So with those boys who live above the ring, and he definitely lives a head above the ring.
Yeah,
It's that one fall, it's that one catch, it's that
it's gonna take
one.
one bad landing.
You just look at Kristaps
Mm-hmm.
or
He's
Gordon
elite.
Hayward. Gordon Hayward, even who just went up for a
Oh.
rebound. Like, but he's jumping 4 times the size of him.
Isaiah Thomas getting his hip injured.
Yeah, like it's, and these aren't even like uber explosive players we're talking about. Like, we're not going to
There's-
say the name that everyone's thinking about in terms of injuries with uber athletic players because we're going to do it out of respect. We'll leave that one out.
Mm-hmm.
But we can
Yeah.
even go back to Sean Livingston, who was on the same trajectory as
exactly.
Ja. He's going to be a triple-double machine that was an absolute, boss, and was a really similar path to what Derrick Rose is doing now, resurgence as a six-man. But the exact same thing happened to him. He was just too explosive and never slowed down, never tried to develop that shot, and then he eventually developed that mid-range shot, but that was after he hurt himself, and it was just develop those things before you put yourself in that much harm's way.
Yeah, it's just scary.
So,
Can't
Brad,
trust them.
what basketball have you been watching?
I've been watching all Warriors. Admittedly, while I've been working, but Steph Curry has played one good game out of the 3, and they look scary good as a whole unit. So a lot of this is around Kenny Atkinson as a defensive minded coach, and we've still got Mike Brown as a very good offensive coach. Steve Kerr looking over both of them, and it's just been brilliant to see how they're incorporating the vets. We haven't even got the full team ready yet. You've got Kuminga still to come. Moody's not really playing yet.
Insane.
And
Clay.
Wiseman, who's put on like 20 kegs, who's looking really good, hasn't
Mhm.
stepped on the court yet. And I think that's just going to open up everything. But the simple thing is we're 3-0. Haven't played a really good game yet. We played really good today. Jordan Poole's dropped 20 twice.
Imagine being
And-
3-0 and not having a good game yet.
No, we had one. We had one decent one against the Clippers, but it was still like Steph had to drop 45, and everyone else dropped off that game, and no one was clicking.
Just talking to like your point on like how good you've been as a team, like even players like your boy, your favorite, Kevon Looney, like watching him just
He's
like
awesome.
really find his groove and stuff, and hopefully he can get a good stint of health, like because he's just so skilled and his body just hates it.
He's one of my favorite. Like who we were talking about before, like Tatum's skills. Way higher than his IQ. Looney's IQ's so far ahead of where his body's at. I don't think he's ever going to get his body to an elite standard, but his IQ is just off the chain when just to where to stand for rebounds, where to put his hip on a
He's
screen.
so awesome to watch.
And he gets so similar to Draymond, just knows how to get Steph the ball where he wants the ball. And he's got this little nice 1-2 game with Jordan Poole that they've been utilising when Steph sits, and it's just been
He's very good on the pick and roll. That's
very
one thing
good
that
on the
I
pick
was
and roll.
watching. Like he just knows when to slip screens, and like you were saying, just get his little hip out. Like he's just good to watch.
And we've
you've
got
so many players back.
Oh yeah, we got so many. We got the backlog and rookies to develop still too, which historically we've been pretty good at developing rookies. But Kaminga's just the top 7 player that I'm just very, very happy
The
to.
cum bucket.
When's he back?
Boris. He's
when's
getting
he playing?
reevaluated the 1st.
What
of
was
November.
it? What was the issue?
He's got strained patella,
True.
I think. Nothing too bad, but he plays above the ring, so they're being super careful.
Right, yeah.
And then Wiseman's got the meniscus. He's still coming back from as well. But he only has to fill the dunker spot now. They're not going to experiment like they were last year and give him the ball every second possession. He's just going to fill the dunker spot like JaVale McGee did when Warriors had him. And it's going to be ace because he's going to be the better version, hopefully. The better version.
And Clay's been training with the team.
And Trey, oh my God, I don't even like talking about Clay. Like,
yeah,
he's not even back. He's got a vendetta. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be so sad to watch Jordan Poole sit on the bench, but Klay Thompson, baby,
Yeah,
back.
Awesome.
Let Clay have it for another 3 years, and then Jordan Poole can take over.
like
Sick.
it's crazy. Like through these games that the Warriors have been playing, Steph is just like it's early, but Steph's just looking like an MVP candidate like immediately. It's
And he's
insane.
played average. Like
Yeah.
his first game, he couldn't make a 3. He ended up getting a triple double. And then the game today, he played really well, but had some really, really like iffy spots where he just couldn't get a shot off. Smoked Mitchell though, which he's been stopping everyone, but
Off night.
Mr. Off night. But Steph. He was scoring tonight too, which was nuts. He was really good scoring tonight. Like 2 threes or 3 threes in a row at one stage, and we didn't have an answer for him.
Wow.
But go Warriors. I reckon Western Conference would be where we finish, top of the West. I'm not going to be surprised at all.
It's not a bad call.
I reckon Davion Mitchell is definitely going to be, if he can get a reliable 3-point shot, like 35%, like
I think he's got it.
like if he like has that for like a whole season on a decent team, like next to De'Aaron Fox, if the Kings get a good roster, which it's the Kings, but like he's generally the kind of guy who I can see starting on a championship team or like a dynasty kind of championship team because of how good a defender, like how reliable he is. And even if Steph Curry's going to get 27, he's going to get his 30 against him, whatever. But if he makes it a hard 30, that's what matters. And I think he's the kind of guy that'll make, he's the kind of guy that'll make his direct opponent work for every single bucket they get.
Yeah, it makes it challenging.
So if he can be like at least like a semi-threat on offense as well, then it's just like not game over, but it's like a lot of the
Game
way
over.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. Cool. Should we? Do we have anything else we want to comment on before we move on to the next segment, or are we all good for everything from this week?
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Bussin.
Oh my
I
god,
thought
that
you
was
were going to say
horrid.
Bam. I thought you were going to say
I
Bam.
straight up refuse to ever make a proper theme song for your segment.
Wait, really quick. I do just want to quickly mention Josh Giddy found his groove today. 19.8 and 74 still. That is all. It's just good to see an
Giddy.
Aussie. It's just good to see an Aussie killing it.
Yeah.
And actually, no,
Potential
I've
bloke.
remembered something. LaMelo could be top 10 MVP. I was going to say top 5.
Hang on.
Whoa.
Dude, he's
Hang
I
on.
hate that.
Hang on,
If they-
hang
like,
on.
he's like legitimately could be top 10 MVP. If he leads the,
If they're top
I think
6?
the Hornets. Yeah, I was going to say. I think Hornets need to be top 4. I was going to say.
If they're top 6, I reckon he's up in the top
Well,
vote
you
getters.
just-
He'll get the
he'll
praise.
get some third place votes.
And because he's got the stardom for it, like he's already such
He
a
does.
massive fan favorite, and like he's going at 22-5, 6-6. Like it's not enough at the moment.
He'll
He
get
gets that up
though.
to like a LeBron 27-7-7. Like that's like scary.
That's a
Or even
really
just
good
like a 25. You know what I mean? Like 25-7-7.
Very
with a
good
team
second year
that's-
jump.
Yeah, exactly. Like with a team that's say the 6th or 5th seed. Like, because honestly, I just love watching them. Like Miles Bridges put up 32 today, which won't happen often. But like Gordon Hayward's always an elite second option. Like Miles
They don't
Bridges
have
will always
Terry
be
yet.
there. Exactly, they don't have Terry yet. Like, and Miles
Terry!
Plumlee was like Mason Plumlee was like actually a good pickup. Like,
That's
I actually don't
underrated.
mind
That's
him.
underrated.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Over
Weird
Zeller,
haircut.
definitely.
Weird head. But
Weird
yeah, I
head.
just wanted to mention that really quick that I really think LaMelo's going to be up there in MVP votes this year. That is cool.
Anyway,
Anyway.
Fussing. Figgity
Fussing.
fussing. Biggity biggity bugger bit of a fussing, 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 a fussing.
okay, so here we
Hated
go. The
God,
big
it
man's
makes
not
me
back.
so nervous.
The big man's not back, and it's not going to be back for a while. Like your classic big man. Jokic isn't your classic big man.
No.
Giannis isn't your classic big man. Like the kind of guys they are. Like everyone.
Okay, so hang on. Before you
So
keep going,
DeAndre
you
Ayton-
just named you just named 2 of the 3 MVP candidates.
Yeah, but they're not the big man.
for last year.
I've just named the last three
wait.
MVPs.
One was the MVP
Wait,
winner.
wait. Are you saying that the classic play style inside big man isn't back? Or are you saying that
It's
a
not back
dominant
yet.
center isn't...
The
gonna be-
classic big man isn't
Yeah.
back yet, and it's
A
not going to be
post-centric.
back for some time. It's not going to be back for some time because Embiid is the closest person to that, but he's not.
And they were the ones...
Yeah, but he's always
MVP
broken.
candidate.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's not back yet, and it's not going to be back for quite some time. Because even though I'm saying Embiid is the closest to it, he's kind of not really the classic big man still. Like, he's still a lot more of a... I'm not going to say floor spacer, but like
Okay, but when you say the classic big man...
Shaq. Like, it's going to take
Okay,
a
but
guy
Shaq wasn't just like a classic big man, though. He's the most dominant center of all time.
Yeah, but I don't think...
If you watch like a
the
prime
Admiral-
Shaq, it's just Giannis. It's really like Giannis.
it's not... You can't just say, like, the classic big man, because all of the ones that have led teams are, like, different.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, players like David Robinson, like, those kind of guys, that's not a thing that is going to be successful in the NBA as one of your 2 best players. Because, like, DeAndre Ayton is what a lot of people thought when he was coming into the league, and obviously he's still young, he's still got time to be better, but he's, like, that kind of player isn't going to be good enough at the moment. The way the NBA is structured right now, that kind of player isn't good enough to be a top 2 player in a team on a team that's going to contend for a title.
I really like this busting off us, and might I add,
Yes.
like, really
good.
good one. But just because I've been saying for the last 7 years, a dominant big man will blow this league wide open. And that's just my opinion. It's been my opinion for the longest time. That might be because I'm a dominant big man in E grade and blew the league wide open. I don't know. But
Okay.
I'm not going to go first though because I feel like I go first a lot and just get into a rabbit hole. So I'll let you boys talk. But I'm just going to say fussing real quick.
I'll kick it off by saying, I guess, as someone who hasn't watched a lot of old NBA yet, it's hard for me to say bussin' or fussin' on it. I do, because it's like it depends.
It's going
on
to be
the
like
wording
when we were talking about our predictions, and you're like, I guess we'll have to wait and see. And you're like, I guess it's
beat
either
the shit
bussing
out
or
of you.
fussing. Like it's going to be one of the two.
I'm gonna
if a dominant big man comes in, maybe.
If you let me talk,
it could be bussing.
if you let me talk, I could say what it is.
Tyrone,
I could keep going.
Tyrone Halliburton.
Tyrone
I
Halliburton.
could keep going.
Go for it.
Tyrone halitosis.
Anyway, I'll go fuck myself. I was just gonna say, I think it's fussing. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Talker.
Lockie, go. Your turn.
Go on.
Wow. Come on.
Go on.
No, that's all I'm gonna say. So Connor sat there and said, the classic big man, the traditional big man is gone, and then said 3 exceptions, 2 of which were nominated.
No, I didn't say they were exceptions. I said why they aren't the classic big man. I said they're not in that category. Giannis isn't in that category. He's a uber athletic.
So you're saying that they're
3.
not.
He's like a big 3, really. The way Giannis plays is like a tall 3. And then Jokic is a point center.
So you're essentially saying that those aren't exceptions.
They aren't exceptions. They're not
backing your point.
They're not like
okay. The way you worded it,
they're not. They're not like the right. Yeah, sorry.
That's why I was.
They're not like exceptions to the rule. They're
just not in the category.
They're just not in the category. Like I'm thinking, like what Embiid could be, what Embiid should be, if Embiid is healthy, which he's never healthy. So like that's another reason is that a lot of those big guys, like if you look at how many games played Shaq had in his career, he had a lot of seasons, like quite a few seasons where he missed like bunches of games. Like not like he was always hurt or anything, like the way Embiid is missing a lot of games, but it's just like that kind of player is getting a lot of wear and tear, and like I just don't think anyone is going to do that for quite some time, and it's going to take someone. It's going to take a lot of luck. It's going to take a serious skill and some serious size to do it. So I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Okay. I think the only reason I think it's fussing, and I'm sticking to fussing. The only reason I think it's fussing is because like the NBA has evolved so much, and I get what you're saying about the classic big man is gone, whatever. But it's like you can kind of say that about a lot of stereotypes, a lot of play styles. Obviously, some have stuck around, but like the NBA is constantly changing and evolving, and I think to name one style and say it's dead, well, technically, yeah, but like there's an evolution of that going on right now. So it kind of like, in a sense, and shut up, Mitch, don't say it. It is kind of bussin', but I'm still sticking to fussin'. That's it. I'm going to throw it to Lockie before anyone tells me I'm wrong.
So first of all, my call on this, Herzl predicted correct, it is bussin', but I do agree with Mitch that someone that is a classic big man stereotype, air quotes, comes in, it would wreck the league, and I'm going to explain why. So I like Chinnick, I am a pretty new NBA fan, so when I think of the classic big man, it's the massive dude that sticks to the paint. Maybe he goes to the post a little bit, and will do some post moves, but generally like looking to dunk it over people, right? It's a stereotype to kind of say it. I know. I mean, count how many podcasts have said this. We're living in kind of a positionless league at the moment, where a lot of players are expected to guard heaps of positions, and I think the big man is one of the biggest like examples of that. You've got so many big men: Jokic, Embiid, Giannis can do it as well. To use those 3 big examples as guys that can kind of get out of the paint and guard that sort of area. And that's kind of like it's dumb to say, but the sort of meta, the big example of what a big man in the NBA is today. So it's hard to kind of break that mold. It's a kind of generational thing, but I would love to see another big man come in and just, play how big men did back in the day. I'd love to see that, but I do think it's bussin' that as of right now, just because of how the game's being played at the moment, that kind of classic big man is not very represented at the moment. That is my opinion.
I value your opinion.
Bradley.
All right, I'll go. Small case for which ones agree and disagree?
I
old man here.
Bussin' is agree, fussin' is disagree.
So there's a real small case for disagree. Disagree is the traditional big man act really hasn't disappeared completely with your Aitons, and surprised you didn't mention Bam. They're just
I was thinking him, but he's a bit smaller, and that's why I said another point I haven't.
Yeah, they're just 3 to 6 feet out from the basket because they're more skilled. Like the game's just significantly better in every aspect possible. So there's lots of that, feeding it through the post and facilitating through that spot. And Jokic, I know he comes out right to the free throw line, but there is a bit of it. Vucevic is another huge one where you really like him touching the ball first. He's not the first option though, so. But I'm going to have to go the complete opposite way and just go for a few reasons. Is big men cannot run a full game anymore with Steph, with Westbrook, with Kyrie, with any of those top tier guards. It just exhausts them. And the other big reason is 3 points is way better than 2. So what's the point of a classic big man? 3 points significantly better. It's just you're just gonna if you turn it into a scoring battle, you're gonna get done by 20 to 25. Like it's just the 3 ball's too powerful at the moment with Steph, who you cannot leave open. There's actually lots of players at the moment you cannot leave open, but I just think the 3 ball's just too dangerous, and the game's just too fast to have a real big man, 200 kegs bloke running up and down, rim running. I just don't think it's sustainable anymore.
Biggest take of this podcast, guys. 3, it's bigger than 2.
3, higher than 2.
It's true.
Hurtle, you okay?
yeah. So
3
this is
better
3,
than 2.
And this is how many that 3 is higher than 2 by.
Jesus
2 is 1 less than 3. Anyway, so another extension of that idea and that take I had brewing in my head was that the future of the big man is a guy who's sub 7 foot, who can guard, not necessarily have to guard 1 through 5, but at least 3 through 5. And it's got to take somebody who is healthy for 76, 77 games a season every year, who's a solid 7'2", 250 pounds kind of guy who can just throw his weight around inside. That is going to change that. It's going to take an absolute behemoth of a human being to do that, to really change the game, for him to be.
So do you think? So you think it's a bus and take? I'm assuming.
I think it's a busing take. Yeah, I think that obviously I think Bam, but I'm thinking Giannis at the 5. That's the future of the 5 is someone that looks like Giannis, someone who's 6'9" to 6'11" sort of height, who is strong, just run up and down the court and can do it for 36 minutes a game for 78 games a season. Because also I don't think it's sustainable for someone to play all 82 games a season ever again, to expect that to happen every year.
Can I talk to why I think it's fussing?
Go on.
I'd love to hear it.
So you say that, just to talk to your point, Brad, about 2 being more than 3, 3 being more than 2, and that
that's
2 pointers just aren't a sustainable way to win games. I think the future of the league's defense. I think to be a good team and to be a winning team, it's the defensive end that will get you there because right now, so many of the young guns that are coming in, this bloke behind me, like so many of these players that are coming in are just these elite scorers who can come and shoot from anywhere, score from anywhere, and whoever's on you, they can go 1-on-1. But you say like, you look at the Bucks from last year, right? Their best player was a bloke who didn't shoot threes. He
Chris Middleton.
shot only
Yeah.
twos. Yes, he was uber athletic, and the way he did it was different. But if you can play to a big man who can efficiently put up twos at a 70% rating, like a 70% like shooting, I just think if you have a dominant big man, there's no one in the league that can guard that. And to that point is because we're straying so far away from the dominant big man, all these people coming through the league and coming through college and stuff at the moment, it just people wouldn't know how to guard it. And I think that, because the take was, if they're the first or second option, you can't win a championship.
Yeah.
And I think straight away Giannis is, even though he's not the dominant, not a dominant big man, I think it doesn't matter how the scoring coming from inside. If a dominant big man's coming in and giving you 30 and 12 a game efficiently, I think that's straight away going to win you games. Because one, you won't be able to guard it. Two, if they have the IQ to kick out, if you're going to work in the paint, you look at the way Giannis draws double teams because they have to, because otherwise he's going to score. Whereas if you can get a defensively built team around a big man like that, if you can get a team shooting inefficiently from three and you can get efficient twos, I think that's how you win a game. Because while three is more than two, if you get more twos efficiently, I think that's how you score. And I think you
look at
three? Just looking at like the classic big man, right? You look at I don't think you can epitome you can't put a bubble on a classic big man. But if we're just saying a post-centric big man, right? Like an inside-centric big man, look at your Kareems, the best scorer of all time, massively successful. You know what I mean?
Can this big man shoot free throws?
Huh?
Can this traditional big man shoot free throws?
I think 60% is, yeah, you get your hacker shack now.
Then you'd foul him and just hope the best for three. You're going to catch up pretty quick.
Yeah,
as well.
But so I guess that's where sort of it changes. But as I was saying, if you can't just foul a big man all game, like you can, but I guess what we were saying.
The NBA will end up changing the rules for that though. They would stop that from happening.
Yeah,
They would say that's a technical foul now.
And I guess you just look at like your DeAndre Aytons and stuff like that. How you struggle to play blokes like that at the end of games. Quick. Like he was not a liability in the playoffs at the end of games, but like you're almost nervous to play him just because he's not going to, like he just can't hit free throws and stuff like that. But then just to talk to that, it's Giannis. You know what I mean? Like Giannis wasn't shooting good free throws. He ended up hitting 17 from 17 or something like that in the last
game. He went nuts in the sealer.
But I think if you can just get an efficient big man and it's literally just 25 and 12 a night, I think that wins you games. I think you having a presence like that inside would make the 3-point even more powerful. You know what I mean? Like right now, the 3-point's such a big part of the game. If you have someone that's drawing people in and making the 3-point more open, I think that's going to change the game.
That's a good call.
Mm. Your fuss and take seems kind of busting, but I don't know. I think
I just love big men as well. Like all my favorite players are like Hakeem, Kareem.
That's why I said Mitch is going to say I'm an idiot when I say this.
And just because it's been my opinion for so long that I think a dominant big man will change the league.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. It's just, I think we're so far away from seeing something like that happen. Because I think it's going to take a physically gifted person.
I think Evan Mobley goes to a different team. He's close. But again, he's not a classic big man. Like the way he moves is massively crafty. But I guess, like you talk about your Hakeem Olajuwons and stuff, like, yes, he's arguably the best post player of all time, like his footwork and stuff like that. But like he could act, there's clips of him bringing the ball up the court still. Like,
yeah, he could.
Obviously, he's not crossing dudes up and stuff, but like I think those big men that would do it, like their playmaking sense is there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna have someone. It's gonna have to have someone who's like 7'2", 250, and
I don't even think, dude. Like
needs to know what. I
think a 7-footer that is elite in the post well, I mean, because like you said earlier, it's like either going to be a short dude or a really tall dude. Like you look at your Zions, you get a decent team around Zion.
Again,
Like,
he's always hurt though. That's the problem. He is like showing in like what
yeah,
is he 3 seasons
but
in,
but
and
a
he
post,
spent
but someone in the post isn't going to get as injured as someone who's rim running. Like I've just looked up a couple of games, like a couple of those dynamic big men from the good old days, like Patrick Ewing here, like average probably 76 plus games, like games started. Like I looked up Kareem, Shaq. A lot of these players were the same, and I know that
Shaq missed a lot of games, like
yeah, but he was
especially once
also
he hit like 29. Yeah,
like he was just heavier than everyone else, and that's why he was elite. But he still, even though he didn't start every game, you don't need to win every single game in a season to make it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. You could go
you look
73
at
and
you look
9,
at
set the league record in most wins, and still
like
not win. You know,
it's yeah. I just think yeah. Awesome.
If you've made it this far, let us know. Message NBeanA. Let us know what you think. Is a classic big man going to win you a ring or get you to 1 or 2 in the league? Let us know.
I
just
do
think
think
I
that
just
as
think
soon as it does
one
happen,
point.
though,
Yeah, you go, Connor. You go.
by the time whenever there is someone who does come in, like it's going to take one guy to really blow up the league, and then all of a sudden teams will be being like, "Fuck, we need to pay 208 and 120 million because we need someone who can stop him in the playoffs. We need someone who can make it a hassle for him for this fucking behemoth in the post. We're going to be paying like Rudy Gobert 200 million. I don't know, it's kind of a dumb thing, but like he's the
Rudy
interior
doesn't play
guy.
the last 5 minutes of games. Like,
Yeah, but like if there is a
he's
guy like
unplayable.
that, Rudy
And
will play
just
that
talking about that
last
point
five
though, but like
minutes.
you look at how easy it is for centers to get boards these days.
Mhm.
Like so
Yeah,
many of these, like
I
not
think it's
mediocre
more
centers,
to
but like your
the
Capella and stuff.
Steph's averaging 10 rebounds.
it's
Exactly.
more to the like it'll be more offensive boards. That's what the important thing is. That's what the dominant centers will
the second
do is
chances.
grab 6, 7 offensive rebounds a game because they'll be putting up 17 rebounds a game, and they'll 7 of those will be offensive. That's what they're. That's what like when I think a dominant big man is someone who's going to get a lot of offensive rebounds. It doesn't matter. They could go 0 defensive rebounds, but if they're getting like 7, 8 offensive rebounds, maybe 0 is not right, but like if they're getting 7, 8 offensive rebounds, that's usually like 14 points. Like most of the time, you should, when you get an offensive rebound, get 2 points pretty quickly afterwards. Theoretically, if you're not playing A grade basketball. Yeah.
Or
I think
2K, yeah.
I think if you can, like, in my head, it's really easy to game plan if I'm an NBA coach against a dominant big man. Is you just play the 5 ball and make them run. If you could play a really bad running first quarter and put up 40 shots and make 25%, and you've still done your game's work and made that big man tired.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Especially
that's
when
why
like a 5
Giannis is
out
so
as well.
yeah, and
Like
I think that's
you're
why
gonna
Giannis
make
is so special is because he can run the whole game. He can not stop, and like I think Joel isn't there yet. I think you can still run him out of games, and if
Definitely.
you can't run him out of games, you can run him out of series. You can definitely run him out of a series.
Yeah.
Even like Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert has notoriously been exhausted at the end of games, and he's played like 27 minutes. So I think if it's, I don't know, I'm not the
I
smartest
definitely
bloke
think that
ever.
like yes you are.
Stop it.
I think that like an AD kind of guy is the future of the center. Like a 6'10" guy who can score from anywhere from 3 and in. Like that's what I think the future of the center is, and it's going to take some absolute freak player to change that.
Oh, totally. I don't disagree with that being the sort of center the way the league's going because the league is run by the 3 point. But I think that the dominant center would change the game.
Yeah. So
There we go.
what if
Yes, sir. The new. So what I'm gonna do, guys?
Time.
time, space, reality? Do it,
So-
please, Lockie.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get copyright strike. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pose you guys a question of sort of like a what if scenario in the NBeanA. Don't we can make it this little short one because this is one of the more obvious what ifs in the game. So what I've got for you is OKC, and I'm pretty sure saying those three letters, you already know what I'm going to talk about. Going into the 2012-2013 season, the Thunder had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. Then they traded away Harden. So my what if is, what if Harden stayed on that team and kind of made that great OKC team? Would LeBron win another championship like he did with the Heat and the Cavs? Would they kind of take over the league, or would those three players be as dominant as they are now if Harden stayed in OKC?
Are we sending
That-
Ibaka away as well for this? Because that was like the thing it was Harden or Ibaka, and they went Ibaka.
Sure. Ibaka's not there. It's Harden. It's Harden, Westbrook, KD.
Yeah, and Kendrick Perkins. Yep, got it.
That's crazy because it's one trade, and
Yeah.
I'm sort of in my head. I'm doing like a tree of all the
all the endless possibilities.
literally like a multiverse timeline.
It's
of
more
all
than a
the
linear
different
path.
things that change because of that one trade.
A single choice can branch out into infinite
Shut
realities.
up.
Oh, shut up, Herzl.
Shut up.
We're making no money, no cheese off this one.
No dice. Yeah, I guess again, I'll be quick because again haven't watched much of that sort of stuff from the NBA. But obviously they were a good team. And I think instantly the first thought is, if Harden stays, do you think the three of them would probably stay there? That would keep all three of them there for a while, I would think. And then you'd be looking at something like Giannis and Chris Middleton, or even Steph and Clay, and even Draymond too. You've got people that are sticking to these teams and don't really show any signs of leaving. Do you think that they stay there for would they still be there now?
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell because it's and then that, as you said, does LeBron win another ring? How does that team impact LeBron's decisions in terms of trades? Does he go to the Lakers at all? Does you know what I mean? It changes so much. That's interesting. I like that a lot.
So I think the most important thing to look at too in this trade is why did they trade James Harden? Because the year before that is they get to the finals, they win
in
the
a
first
lockout
game.
season, mind you.
In a lockout
season, so you got to think that young teams generally do perform better in lockout seasons.
Mm-hmm. But they took the Heat's first game, and then it was a sweep the rest of the way. But they looked good. They looked deadly. They bought it. They bought it, Connor. Settle down. But where was I going? Yeah, they just realized they've got three studs, and they're going to have to pay each one of them the max.
Yeah,
so if you're looking at the contracts for that, Westbrook was on $5 million. Harden, KD was on $15 million. I think Harden was on about $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think KD had started his contract, his big, the max extension he could have at the time was not as big as it is now.
So it's getting bigger from that. Harden's due. They saw what Harden was going to be pretty early on, and they'd never like to admit it, but they've been on the management team have been on multiple podcasts, and I think even KD's touched on it. They knew exactly what Harden was going to be when they traded him, and they traded him. Does anyone remember the trade?
Oh, was it Jeremy Lamb?
Jeremy Lamb. They got Jeremy Lamb back.
It's insane.
So one of the most lopsided trades
of all time.
Of all time.
They also gave Ibaka $50 million.
And they also gave Ibaka $50 million. So they couldn't actually pay without gutting their backcourt, really.
Mm-hmm.
So they made the trade for Jeremy Lamb. In saying that too, KD got lots more of the ball, which turned out to be his MVP season, I think. Without Harden.
13.
Would be close either way. He got lots of the ball.
Yeah. It was 2013.
And it was his MVP year. So they won on that front. They just couldn't get it done in the playoffs, and that two guard was the missing the missing link. It was Kevin Martin, sorry, who filled the spot. The old Butler shot from the hip. Don't know if you boys remember him, but he was elite. But he's not James Harden elite.
Do we think though, like obviously KD was already a generational talent, and Harden had the promise to be good, and Westbrook was elite too. But like, do we think that more so Westbrook and Harden become the players that they are without that team falling apart? Like, do we think? Well, like I don't think. Like I know Harden was elite, but I don't think that Harden. She'll go away. I don't think that. Sorry, she was trying to tickle me. It was really annoying. I don't think Harden ends up being the sort of player that he is because he doesn't get the ball as much. He doesn't become as good a facilitator. He doesn't like he'd be an elite scorer, but I don't think Harden becomes the player he is. And with that, I also just don't think Westbrook takes that jump to that like triple double Westbrook without sort of being alone, you know what I mean? Like being the man. Because obviously they were all elite talents, but I just don't know. Like, do we think that they all take that jump?
So, do you think like all of them developing into stars? Do you think they get in their way more than they do succeed as a team?
I think they would have won a title, at least one.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if those three stayed together, they might have taken that first one off the Warriors. Oh, they still played. Was it 2015? Was that the first one they won? Yeah. They might have taken that first one off the Warriors, or maybe
I don't know that Warriors team.
They might have. I don't know. The West is pretty hard to pick, or maybe that 2014 revenge Spurs season. They might have.
I reckon that's
like
the year.
one of those two, 2014 and 2015. They might have taken it, but I think after that, the Warriors were still dominating the West.
Yes, yeah.
But that would have been a scary 3v3 scenario. Was that OKC versus Golden State would have been exactly what Houston and Golden State ended up being. Whereas Houston were always we're so close to winning, but it was still Golden State winning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was pretty much what would have happened. They might have won one early on because they were already set before Houston. Well, you got to think James Harden would have been on there anyway, but I think that's the go. Is that they would have won one, but not stay together for too long.
Mm-hmm. And my final just quick note on that is, if that team stays together until 2016 OKC, is LeBron winning a championship with the Cavs?
I reckon he might. I reckon he still would have.
LeBron's that good. Like
he was winning.
He was that good at the Cavs that second time back. Like I think that's probably the best player I've ever seen play.
Yeah.
Like especially that run in the 3-1 comeback. But just that little stint when he came back to Cavs was just insane.
He was winning a title there. Nothing was going to stop him from winning at least one.
Yeah.
Don't forget he called league office to get Draymond suspended. We had that series.
He might have had to call league office to get, KD suspended instead, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what if. I hope you guys liked it. Yeah.
That was a good one.
It's just a short little sweet segment.
Good because it's so... It's not that old, but it's a long time ago in terms of all of their careers.
It's pushing 10 years.
Yeah, nuts. So it's that's so many possibilities branching from that. So I like that.
So what if we got a multi get up?
Yeah, what's
Mitch's Multis. Mitch's Multis. Mitch's Multis. Gamble responsibly.
We had a little bit of bad luck.
It was
That's
on.
all right.
It was
We bounced
genuinely
back.
on.
I know. We were a chance. Drew Holiday gets taken out of the game for he still hasn't played, has he?
I don't think so.
Was it an ankle?
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got him in fantasy, and he's still out. So yeah.
I'm just building it now. So
I'll just run through the last multi. We missed by 3 legs, which was Drew Holiday 6 assists, Drew Holiday 15 points, and Chris Middleton to make 2 threes. Those are the ones that didn't hit.
Yeah.
And I reckon if Drew Holiday gets his 6 assists, surely one of them's to a Chris Middleton 3. And he had legitimately that 15 points. He probably needed like 2 more minutes in the court. He probably would have gotten it. I think he had like 19. Not 19. That would be more than 15. I think he had like 11 or 12 already at that point. So like he had that. The 15 points was a tick. Waiting to happen.
That was a pretty good. It was a good multi. It was just a shame that.
He only had one
You
assist.
get that on
was
the
a
big
problem.
jobs. You get that on the
Yeah.
big jobs.
All right,
Got it.
smash it out, Mitch.
So we're looking at we're going Milwaukee again because we're here. They're the next game up. We're going back again, and I'm liking my luck here. So I'm gonna risk it. I hadn't put it in, but I'm gonna do it just for dramatic sense.
Bum, bum, bum.
Chris Middleton 2 threes. We're going back.
I rate it.
So we got Chris Middleton 2 threes, Miles Turner and Giannis 1 3. Giannis is still like $1.36 to 3, even though he's like half consistent now. Then we got Miles Turner 6 boards. That was like $1.60, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Sabonis 15, Chris Duarte 15, Miles Turner 10 points, Chris Middleton 20 points, and that's $14.25 odds.
Cool.
Beauty.
Can't lose.
Well,
Except when it
can't
does.
lose.
Boys.
Can't
So who
lose.
was that last 10 points one? By the way, I missed that.
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner 10.
Yep, that's a bit of a scary one. I'll be honest with you. That's all right. So yeah, that's me.
That's Mitch's multis.
And you know, we really like for this multi to clutch up. You know?
Oh my god! Shut up.
Well, look.
How can you be clutch, Lockie?
Well, look. You could be clutch by clutching up on your multi, getting that money back, and then spending it on a Clutch Closet jersey, my boy. Go to clutchcloset.com. 5% off NBeanA code. I'm just saying. 5% off's pretty good.
5% you say? Wow.
NFL jerseys too.
Got some shorts. They got
I
shorts
might
too.
go get
shorts.
one now.
Maybe I
They
will.
got
We'll do the outro first.
I'd actually love to go and buy a Clutch Closet jersey. It's just the issue is I'm
Shut
still
the
waiting on a
fuck up.
jersey. So weird because I thought we all bought jerseys for each other on people's birthdays.
So-
Oh no, we
I
just did
haven't
that.
got
We
one.
did that for our friends.
that was
So
crazy.
everybody,
It's going to be a month after your birthday.
Actually,
by the time
before we end it, might I just say something?
Go
No.
for it.
That Beans is back, baby.
Yeah, Beans is
Officially,
coming
we're
back
confirmed.
next week.
We're out of lockdown.
go.
Wednesday week, we're back, baby. Mitch
Post
watching
some
revenge
highlights.
season. Yeah, you'll see
Post
some
some
highlights
highlights.
on YouTube, TikTok,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some E-grade content
everywhere,
going.
Instagram. But we're finals bound this season. I promise you.
This is it. This is
We're
the
finals
Bean season.
bound.
We were robbed last season.
We've been
full
robbed.
Like
team.
this. This
Mitch
is
was
how we were
gone.
robbed. That.
Yep.
Mitch's
also,
finger is
COVID
back.
kind of did a thing.
Yep.
Nah,
Mitch's
we're-
finger, a couple of other injuries. Fucking Lockie lost his ankle at the end of our season before that. It's
Then
like,
tried to lose it again in the off
he
season.
tried to lose it again in the first practice
But
back.
it was a different ankle.
Beans
It was
is
a different
back.
ankle this time.
We're finals bound and yeah, just be ready. Eager.
On
Check
the
us out on
record,
TikTok
dominant.
with at NBeanA on TikTok. I
On
don't
the
actually know
record,
if
if we
that's
win,
it.
I'm
Oh my
getting the
God.
tattoo. So
We might post game sounds on Spotify. So if you see a weird thing and it's just us going, and one.
it's narration of the game.
The ASMR.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
Another
there.
missed shot. How can I get one in? That's that'll be me.
Damn, missed again.
Just checks out on everything.
Speaking of missed
Indeed,
shots, don't miss the shot and go to Spotify and Apple Podcast. Anyway, I hate it here. Listen to
Welcome
this
back,
on
Brad.
Spotify and Apple Podcast, but this one specifically, listen to it on YouTube. Cause
But don't watch
video.
it on YouTube. Just listen.
No,
Close your
turn
eyes the
off-
whole time.
like,
And if
close
you're
the
on
tab.
YouTube, check out this video that's up there.
Don't do that. I'm
The
gonna unlist
midi-
it. I'm unlisting
Midi
it when I
monster.
upload this.
Midi
Not
monster.
the midi monster.
Midi monster.
It's like when my jump shot was shit. Like, do it
Can
now.
we get a compilation of Swatson?
Yeah, no, I'm getting there. I just
That might be a lead. No,
What
it's
other
just one
compilations are we getting?
one
SWAT.
for everyone. One for each of the boys.
At least 2.
Once we go back, we'll get more. Sure.
Enough to have a
Uh,
compilation of compilations.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, welcome back, Brad.
yeah,
Thank you
welcome
for
back,
coming
Brad.
by.
Great to have you back.
No, everyone say beans.
The Balzac is gonna win.
Hit 4.